Last night's Republican debate. We'll tell you who did well and who did not. And what exactly was Ron Paul talking about?
When you have a reserve currency of the world and you abuse it, you export money. That becomes the main export, so it goes with the money.
Full debate coverage with George Stephanopoulos, Ann Coulter, Charles Krauthammer, and John Stossel.
My fight against terrorism, to me, the biggest terrorist is Obama and the United States of America.
And a rapper accuses the president of being a terrorist. Should we send this guy to Guantanamo Bay? As you may know, I am a simple man and was very confused by the debate last night. I couldn't tell whether it was Twitter or Facebook or U-Haul. Who was asking the questions? All of a sudden, some lady named Martha pops up from Manchester wanting to know why Ron Paul's shirt is too big. I mean, was this confusing or what? In the Snap poll last night, it was Romney won 51%, Bachmann 21%, Pawlenty 9%, Gingrich 7%, Kaine 4%, Santorum 4%. And I'll give you Ron Paul's number with John Stossel coming up. It's a pretty interesting number. But look, and Ron Paul.
Now that's a different kettle of fish. the other than enjoying Newt Gingrich when he has a time limit on his answer. No, I remembered why I dislike libertarians so much. Saying government should be out of it is a perfectly good answer for 90% of the questions you will ever be presented with. It is not a good answer to what do you think of gay marriage? Oh, we should just get government out of the business of marriage. No, I'm sorry, marriage has consequences. Who gets to adopt? Who pays alimony? Who inherits? Some of this can be dealt with by private contract, but some of it can't. How do you get the blood test done? What, your tennis coach is going to marry you? That was just a cowardly thing to do, and this is what drives me crazy about libertarians. They dodge the tough questions.
Did you see Stossel in the green room? Did you punch him? Because Stossel's a libertarian. He's coming out here to actually explain to me what Ron Paul said, because I really don't understand.
Well, ask him about government get out of the business of marriage. There are 1,000 legal consequences to marriage.
Okay.
And it's a cheap answer to say
it's
get the government out of it.
It's an easy way out.
Yeah.
I think what we saw last night in this debate is a very dynamic, essentially conservative, smart, thoughtful group of people who are clearly ready for prime time and supremely qualified, all of them, to be president of the United States.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
All of them would be about a gazillion times better than the current occupant of the White House.
Of course you think that.
John Stossel will be here to try to explain what Ron Paul said last night, one libertarian to another. In the Stossel Matter segment tonight, Congressman Ron Paul from Texas is entering his third presidential campaign. But last night, it wasn't easy understanding him.
We're trying to unwind a Keynesian bubble that's been going on for 70 years, and you're not going to touch this problem until you liquidate the bad debt and the malinvestment, go back to work. But you have to have sound money. You have to recognize how we got into trouble. We got into trouble because we had a financial bubble, and it's caused by the Federal Reserve.
Ooh. Here now to explain that to me, John Stossel. I think it's Keynesian, right? Did he
Keynesian.
It's what?
Keynesian.
Keynesian. So I'm
pronounced K.
Right,
it's spelled Keynes, but pronounced Keynes.
What is that?
It's this idea that government spending can buoy the economy. It's what the stimulus was based on.
And that's based on John Maynard.
John Maynard Keynes, and he said the economy can get stuck.
And when was he around, John Maynard?
80 years ago.
1712?
No, not that long ago.
Okay, 80 years ago. So the congressman is putting forth that the federal government should stay out of the economy. I agree with that. You agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, and we have to have oversight for the gangsters. And then he's saying the money supply, big money supply guy, wants to do away with the Fed, right?
Right.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Well, the Fed printed money, helped create the housing bubble. The Fed has kept interest rates low. That fueled the housing bubble, and now they're trying to prop it up. It's not just the Fed. I disagree there. It's the Fed and the government, Fannie and Freddie, saying we can't let housing prices drop. As Ron Paul said, you have to let the market clear so it can recover. And the conceit that the 12 people on the Fed can run a whole economy is terrible.
Okay, so he wants to execute or put them in Guantanamo Bay. What does he want to do with them?
He wants to abolish the Fed.
Get out of there.
We had a big recession in 1920, no Fed. Right. We recovered in 1921. You don't need them.
As Coulter says, he doesn't want to get involved with any issues pretty much. He wants to just let everybody do pretty much what they want.
accept defense and accept government to keep me
but that
from
means
taking
that the
your
Wall Street
stuff or
gangsters who
hurting you.
invented all of this mortgage-backed stuff would be able to do what they want and nobody watch them.
No, because if the government isn't bailing them out and propping them up
No,
when
but they made money for many years.
Well, when they sell you garbage, people then wise up and say, I'm not going to buy from this company.
Right. So no real oversight, okay.
No real
now,
oversight.
Did you know that last night in the Snap poll, no one thought Ron Paul won the debate. Not even Ron Paul.
Well,
no one. Zero
What's a
people.
Snap poll?
The Snap poll by the National Journal was taken right after the debate, and no one thought he won.
Maybe he didn't win this debate. He does tend to run on sentences, but he's right about everything, and you're wrong. Everything.
He's right about everything.
Just about everything.
The government had no role. It's Lord of the Flies.
Except keeping us safe. No, keep us safe
Keep
from
us
the
safe.
bullies. Protect me from the bullies.
But he doesn't want to intervene overseas. Doesn't want to deal with Iran.
That's right. If they attack us, we'll deal with it.
But he'll let them get nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Yes, and that's good, right? We want
It's
Iran to
not
have nuclear
good,
weapons.
but our going in, he says, isn't going to make it better.
You like him. He's right on everything.
I do like him.
Okay, he's right on Iran. Let's have them get their nuclear arsenal, and then after
Iran
they blow
hasn't
up 18
attacked
cities,
anyone for
then we'll go get them.
200 years.
They haven't attacked anyone.
For 200 years.
Okay,
So
but
if they attack us, we'll fight back, and Ron Paul will support that.
I believe they attacked Iraq.
Iraq attacked them.
Oh, they attacked them. But then they attack back.
I'm not saying they're run by good people.
I see. All right.
Wait, one more complaint. You say, who's going to run the country? You got to stop using that word, that phrase. Free people run the country, not the president.
But we have to have some.
Who's going to preside over there?
Preside. I like that.
Better.
It ain't going to be Ron Paul. I'm sorry.
Well, we have
John
our bets.
Stossel, everybody. Bill, your bias against Ron Paul is shameful. No bias here, Brian. We've covered the congressman accurately.